The small coastal town of Vila Nova was known for its serene beaches, quaint cottages, and the omnipresent fog that rolled in from the sea every evening. Life there was quiet and predictable, until the day a new face arrived, disrupting the town's tranquility. Her name was Isabel, a strikingly beautiful woman with piercing green eyes and an air of mystery that left the townsfolk whispering. Isabel rented a secluded cottage on the outskirts of town, overlooking the cliffs. She kept to herself, rarely seen in the market or the town square. Her arrival coincided with a series of unexplained events that would plunge Vila Nova into a nightmare. Wakim Costa, a successful businessman and pillar of the community, was among the first to be drawn to Isabel. Despite being married to the kind-hearted and loving Maria for over 20 years, Wakim found himself inexplicably captivated by Isabel's enigmatic charm. He began visiting her cottage under the cover of darkness, unaware that his secret trysts would unleash something far more sinister than mere infidelity. Maria, perceptive and intuitive, sensed the change in her husband. Wakim had become distant, his once warm and attentive demeanor replaced by coldness and distraction. Determined to uncover the truth, she followed him one night, her heart pounding with fear and anticipation. She watched from the shadows as Wakim entered Isabel's cottage. Through the dim light of the windows, she saw them together, her husband's demeanor one of helpless infatuation. As she turned to leave, her heart shattered, a cold hand clamped over her mouth. She struggled, her scream muffled, as she was dragged into the fog. The next morning, Maria was found wandering the streets, her eyes vacant and her mind shattered. She spoke of a ghostly figure, a woman with a pale face and hollow eyes, who had whispered terrible secrets to her before vanishing into the mist. The townspeople were quick to dismiss her as mad, driven to insanity by her husband's betrayal. However, the whispers of Maria's encounter spread through the town, and fear began to take root. Strange occurrences became more frequent, shadows that moved on their own, whispers in the night, and the feeling of being watched. The once peaceful town of Vila Nova was gripped by an invisible terror. Wakim, tormented by guilt and the unraveling of his wife's sanity, sought solace in Isabel's arms. But even there, he found no peace. He began to experience terrifying visions, Maria's ghostly visage staring at him from mirrors, bloodstains that appeared and vanished on his hands, and the incessant sound of whispering voices, accusing him of sins he had yet to confess. One stormy night, unable to bear the torment any longer, Wakim confronted Isabel. "What have you done to me?" he demanded, his voice trembling with fear and rage. "What dark magic have you unleashed?" Isabel's eyes glinted with a cruel, otherworldly light. "I have done nothing but show you the truth, Wakim. The truth of your own darkness, the shadows that reside within you." Wakim recoiled, the realization dawning upon him. Isabel was not merely a mistress but a harbinger of doom, a manifestation of the town's collective sins and secrets. Desperate, he fled the cottage, determined to put an end to the madness. He sought out the town's oldest resident, Dona Clara, a woman rumored to possess knowledge of the occult. Clara listened to Wakim's frantic account, her expression grim. "Isabel is no ordinary woman," she said. "She is a spirit, bound to this town by a curse older than any of us. She preys on the guilty, those whose hearts harbor secrets and sins. To break her hold, you must confront the source of your guilt and seek redemption." Determined to save himself and his wife, Wakim returned home. He found Maria in their bedroom, her eyes vacant, muttering incoherent phrases. He knelt beside her, tears streaming down his face. "Maria, I am sorry. I have wronged you, betrayed your love. Please, forgive me." As if awakened by his words, Maria's eyes focused on him. "Wakim," she whispered, her voice weak but clear. "You must go to the cliffs, where it all began. Only there can you find the answers." With a heavy heart, Wakim made his way to the cliffs overlooking the sea. The wind howled, and the fog swirled around him like ghostly tendrils. He stood at the edge, peering into the abyss, and there he saw her, Isabel, her form shifting between human and spectral, a haunting beauty cloaked in malice. "Why do you torment us?" Wakim cried out. "What do you want?" Isabel's laughter echoed through the fog. "I want you to remember, Wakim. To remember the night you caused the death of an innocent. The night you and your friends pushed a young woman off these cliffs, laughing as she screamed. She was my sister." Wakim staggered back, the memory flooding his mind. A youthful folly, a drunken dare that ended in tragedy. He had buried the memory deep, but now it surfaced with a vengeance. "I was young, foolish. I didn't mean for her to die." "But she did," Isabel hissed. "And her spirit, along with mine, has lingered here, seeking justice. Your guilt has drawn me to you, and through you, I shall have my revenge." Wakim fell to his knees, sobbing. "What must I do to end this curse?" "Confess your sins to the town," Isabel commanded. "Bring the truth to light. Only then can you hope to find peace." With a heavy heart, Wakim returned to Villanova. He gathered the townspeople and confessed his dark secret, the weight of his guilt palpable in his voice. The shock and horror on their faces mirrored his own self-loathing. As his confession ended, a strange calm settled over the town. The fog lifted, and the oppressive atmosphere began to dissipate. Wakim knew he had taken the first step toward redemption, but the road ahead would be long and fraught with the ghosts of his past. Isabel's cottage was found empty, her presence vanished as mysteriously as she had arrived. Maria, though deeply scarred, began to recover, her sanity slowly returning with the lifting of the curse. Wakim dedicated his life to seeking forgiveness and helping others, haunted but determined to atone for his sins. The story of the beautiful stranger and the curse of Villanova became a cautionary tale, a reminder of the darkness that can lurk within the human soul and the redemptive power of truth and confession. And though the town returned to its tranquil existence, the legend of Isabel, the avenging mistress, lingered in the whispers of the fog that rolled in from the sea each evening.